We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
What we do not do is spy unlawfully on Americans.
We are leaving in 2014, period. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
America's public enemy number one in the United States is drug abuse. In order to fight and defeat this enemy, it is necessary to wage a new all-out offensive.
You are listening to Biting the Bullet with Luke and Typo.
Yeah, I promise I will post this on the correct date and day.
Yeah, so, you've been late the last 2 weeks, and our viewership has shown it.
I was under the assumption that I posted it both times. The last 2 weeks, I have posted them on Wednesday, I think, and I thought I posted them on Monday, and I honestly don't know what happened both times. I'm still confused how I fucked that up, but yeah, this one will be out on Monday. I promise.
I usually go in on Monday and send it out on our Twitter, but I didn't the last 2 Mondays because this Monday I was sick, so I didn't do shit. And then last Monday, was that when you were here, or was that 2 Mondays ago? I don't remember. Oh, it was 2 Mondays ago. I think it was 2 Mondays ago that you were here, or it was a couple weeks ago that you were here. And then last Monday, I don't remember why I didn't, but I didn't look at it until like Wednesday. And then it was not posted. And I was like, yo, dude, you didn't post the fucking show.
Dude, I don't know what happened. I'm still confused.
That's all right. We're a shit podcast, shit tier podcast. We know this. We're about it. We do it. I do want to say a quick shout out to David D. Day. He's our sponsor. He sponsors every episode right now. He's fucking dope. Go check out his website. It's about having a lawyer. You got a 24/7 fucking lawyer on your side, and it's fucking cheap as shit. So go check his shit out. If you don't know his website, go check it out. There's a fucking ad for it at the beginning of the episode. If you skip them, don't skip them, because it actually helps out, little guys I wouldn't say he's a little guy, but people that we actually think are doing something good. So check out David D. Day. He's fucking dope. And somebody on this podcast that listens to this podcast needs a fucking lawyer. Probably all of them. Yeah. But speaking of shit tier podcasts, we're trying to figure out, I'm not trying to figure out anything. We're trying to find somebody that will do stuff for us, because neither Typo or I want to do it. One of those things that we want somebody to do is find clips that they think are really funny or would do really well on fucking the internet or something like that, and then editing it, creating basically creating a video that could be put on TikTok or Instagram or something like that to promote the podcast on every episode, like specific episodes, a clip from it that's really funny, so we can post it with the link to the podcast and something else. So if you're good at that, and you might, I think we could probably throw some cash your way for each episode you do it, or like a monthly thing. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Talk to us, hit us up about it, because we just want to throw it out there a little bit more. We want to get some more crazy guests. And I think the best way to do that is showing them that we have a viewership. So if we have a larger viewership, we'll be able to get not just fucking wacky libertarians on. Maybe we can get some people that we think would be really fucking funny on the podcast. So that's one of the reasons why I want to do it. But I just wanted to send that out there. Take clips, edit a video. I don't want to fucking do it. I have to edit the fucking podcast myself anyways for the video, and it takes fucking forever, and I don't even want to do a minute clip afterwards. So if somebody would like to get paid to do it, let us know, or send us some clips that you think would be work well enough, and we'll either pay you for them or not. I don't know. We'll decide then. But yeah, I just want to put that out there at the beginning.
Send us all the clips first. and then we'll think about paying you. And then
Well, yeah, just make
we'll
some
see.
fucking
We'll see
clips.
we'll see how good it does on Instagram first, and then I'm just kidding.
Yeah, just send us the fucking clips so we can be like, yeah, this is what we're looking for, or no, that's not what we're looking for. And then we'll figure out if we pay you or not, if you want to get paid. Everybody wants to get paid because the fucking inflation is garbage in this country and no one can fucking buy a house. This is what I was going to talk about, the fucking housing market. And I haven't even really paid that close attention to it recently just because I've been dealing with other shit. But I was thinking about buying something when my lease is up here, just so I can have something. I'm not paying fucking rent. But the fucking interest rates are crazy. The interest rates are crazy right now. They just got hired again. It's like 6.75% interest on housing loans when before it was 2 years ago, it was like 2%. 2%. And they're saying it's a housing shortage. And then I know some guys that do the housing auction stuff here in Arizona. We do their building. Like I do their building. And they're like, we're not allowed to put too many. He's like, there's so many houses that are foreclosed upon that we're auctioning off that we're only allowed to put 3 on every week. If we do more, we get in trouble. So they're like slowly, like there's a shit ton of houses that are foreclosed, need to be sold. And they're going to get sold at lower valuations than they normally would because they're getting auctioned. And at least for the most parts, that's what would happen. And they're not allowing them into the supply at the rate that they normally would because they're controlling it. They're controlling it because shit's going down. And one of the guys that I was listening to today, he was like, the market's going to collapse. The housing market's going to collapse. And once the housing market collapses, everything else collapses. And
Peter Schiff.
Did Schiff talk about it? Because it wasn't Schiff.
Oh, he's predicted like the last 9 housing market collapses, but he's been right about 3 of them. But I'm just kidding. But no, Peter Schiff's, he's always talking about it's gonna collapse and stuff.
Yeah.
And
there's just this one guy that I follow on TikTok that does it. I don't even remember his name, but he puts out pretty interesting information. And so I follow him every once in a while, and he's like, it's happening in the fall. He did like a video a year and a half ago. And it's when I found him. And he was like, if like worst case scenario, he's on this whiteboard looking like, what's his name from Always Sunny? You know, when he had the red
Charlie?
fucking line.
Yeah.
Charlie. Yeah. He's looking like that. And he's like, worst case scenario, if all these things fucking happen and nobody does anything about each one of these other things, then it's all going to be done by here. And it was the fall of 2022, and none of those things have, like, any mitigation has gone to, and most of the mitigation is obviously, you know, letting the free market work its way out, but that's not what's happening. And so he's like, it's gonna be gone. It's gonna be gone again. Yeah.
I mean, dude, I know I don't think we ever dove deep into it or anything, but we probably definitely mentioned it. I mean, when like the economy was locked down, when we were shut down, I mean, that's the first thing I was like, well, what are we doing here? Like, this seems a little crazy, right? Like, you can't just shut stuff down and turn it on. Like, I'm no expert, but I just don't feel like an economy can work if you turn it off and then, you know, wait 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, a year, some states, and then just turn it back on and expect everything to be okay.
That's exactly how all electronics work. So why doesn't the economy work the same way?
Yeah, that's how radios work, dude.
Yeah.
But, and then plus, obviously, the Fed printing all that money, like, dude, like, I mean, I'm no fucking expert here, but it's just like, we knew something's going to happen. We didn't know how bad it was going to be. Inflation's really high right now. You know, obviously the housing market is having some sort of major effect. And I mean, they basically just after the collapse in 2008, they basically just restarted and put the interest rates really low again. And we started all over. So, I mean, I don't know when. This dude's saying the fall. With how shit's going, dude, like, it makes sense to me. Like,
it could be to fucking tomorrow. Like, it could be like tomorrow, like something minor that everybody thinks is minor happens, and 70,000 or 700 million people get a fucking sell, like a little blinker on their fucking stock portfolios that are like, sell this because it hit this marker, and there goes the economy. Like, it's just fucking gone in an instant. Could be tomorrow, but I think the fall, I think that's when it's going to be. I don't know why. It's just like a gut feeling. I think that guy's right. And everything that he said on the timetable that he said is going to happen has happened almost down to the fucking day. Like, it's the same month within a couple weeks. And it's just fucking insane. And I was looking to buy a place just to, like I said, like stop renting, but there's no fucking point. Like, I'm not going to pay 7% interest on a fucking house and then be like, and everybody's just going to be like, oh, you can refinance. And it's like, yeah, not at, like, everybody thinks there's these no cost refinance. It's like, there's always a cost. Like, they're not, you can't just hold out for the market to like correct itself. That's not how it always works, because that's what happened in 2008. Everybody was like, oh, I'll just refinance in a couple of years. But then they lost all their fucking jobs. like these, it's going to be fucking crazy. And
we're going to see the Big Short too, baby. At least we'll get that.
Yeah. I was talking to this about some old heads at my job. And one of them, he was like, yeah, this is what happened in the 80s. And I was like, yep. And then it happened in the early 90s briefly. And then it happened in 2008, went to 2011-ish. And it's happening now. And it's only gotten quicker and quicker and quicker. Like, the time between recessions is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And it's like, yeah. So there's going to be a point where there's nothing left. Like, there's nothing, like, there's no coming back from it, because you're just in a recession and it's not going to go away.
Yeah. I also kind of think too, like, I don't know if it's probably because of the rise of the internet, honestly. And I think that's why, like, the rise of the internet, because it's just like mass communication on a global scale, like never before, never before. So, a lot of times when these like crashes would happen through the ages, it was like, what else do people put their currency in? No one has any idea. And now, like, not just because of like cryptocurrency, but just because of the internet, now you have mass communications. People can be like, yo, put your money in gold, put your money in silver, put your money in anything else. Don't put your money in
pay me so I can put your money in stuff that benefits me.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, you see the rise of like these day traders on like Robinhood and stuff, because they're trying to get their cut. These fucking Wall Street guys have been gambling with the economy for decades, century maybe, and now the people can get in on this game. And
exactly.
But to your point, it's like, I mean, I don't know, but with the rise of like mass communication like that, now people can move to a different currency because they can look up online like, oh, maybe this guy's right about Bitcoin or fucking gold or silver, whatever it is, whatever you want to put your money in. And I think that might play, and with the Fed talking about their own like digital currency and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
I think they know it's coming.
I think they
know. I think they know it's coming, and that's why it's not so much a like when I say that the recession is just not going to end. It's the only way it ends is if you move on from like it's like the hard reset, and it just depends on how that hard reset goes, because it's got to reset. Like, people aren't just gonna. It's not like just the end of the living world. You know what I mean? Like, people are going to like continue to thrive, or not thrive, but there's going to be a continuance of civilization in some aspect. So it's going to reset, and it's like, it's either you're going to reset and be even more under the control of the people that caused this reset, or you're going to be in a place because you picked a currency or currencies maybe that is being used and widely accepted across the entire world because it's easily accessible through internet communication.
Maybe the yuan, dude. If China takes over, dude.
Yeah, right. Yeah, who knows? But that's the thing. Like, it's just like, it's going to end, and I think it's getting closer and closer to ending. And obviously, you're always moving closer to something ending. I get that. Yeah, but I just meant like, it's like within our lifetime, the dollar collapses at this point. Like there's no, like in my head, there's no way that it doesn't.
Yeah. Like,
which is
it's not
crazy.
that- and it's just like how much can the dollar take? Like, I still feel like the Fed has a few tricks up its sleeve. Like, I don't know what they are. I mean, there's probably only a few things they can do with the U.S. dollar, but whatever it is that they have planned, they have a plan. They gotta know.
US
US
dollar's a dirty girl.
They gotta know. Yeah, exactly.
US dollar's a dirty girl.
And it
gets around. It's been around.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, like maybe they have some tricks up their sleeves, whatever that might be. But at the same time, like, I mean, we printed so much money. We went all in on this lockdown, and then now we're backing up a major war going on.
Yep.
Like we're and like, I mean, I don't know exactly how much, but it seems like Biden sent like $800 billion like 3 times. Maybe it's only been 2, but I just keep seeing that number, and it's like, is that the second or the third time he sent that much money? It's like we're over $1 trillion now. It's like, how much money can we give these fucking people, dude? Like, as our gas prices go up, and with the mass, like you have like possibly 70 million people that are like, yo, that election, little weird.
Sketch.
I'll just say, a little sketchy.
Little sketch. This is sus. Fuck it. I'm calling Cat. That's Cat.
Yeah.
Well, you got that.
I don't know.
And then, well, and the best part about the Ukraine thing and all the money and guns and weapons and shit that we're sending them is, God, the Ukrainians must be making bank selling those weapons to the Russians right now. God damn, they must be making bank. I saw a Twitter post. I don't remember who it was, but there was like, you won't believe the amount of money people are making by exporting guns out of the Ukraine right now. And it's like, I fucking bet. I bet the United States is exporting guns from Ukraine to, fucking rebel groups in countries all around the fucking world to take over their countries right now. I bet you money. And I don't even think that's a crazy bet. Like, I don't think that's a fucking crazy bet.
Yeah, well, okay, I don't know if this is true. Now, a few people have told me that this is true.
It's fucking true.
I don't know.
It's fucking
Probably.
True.
It would not surprise me. But you remember right before Russia, a lot of people, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind now. But before the Russia-Ukraine thing took off, remember that Kazakhstan thing that the rebellion happened, where like the people like storming the banks and shit. And
they burned down their central bank.
And there is some people that have speculated, and there might be evidence to this. I don't know.
It's fucking true.
But the CIA backed that shit.
It's
next door to fucking Russia. And it's like, dude, like,
backs the people burning the central bank?
Yes.
Back the rebels.
Back the rebels in their attempt to overthrow the Kazakhstan government.
Because their central bank is connected to everybody else's central bank. Like, it's like a centralized bank institution. So I just don't see them overthrowing those things, because those are like the symbols of established order and everything else. Well, it's like when we talked about last week, when you talked about your dad saying that they're giving the vaccine so they can depopulate the earth. And it's like, why would they depopulate the people that are listening to them? They don't want a whole bunch of fucking savages out here that eat clean, or not even clean, but eat well enough, have a shit ton of guns, and don't listen to the authority, staying alive once they depopulate half the population. You know, I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like, I don't see them burning down like central banks to make themselves like, I feel like that's counterproductive to their.
That is very fair. I'll give you that. But I would just, I don't know. I go back and forth on this. Is there motivations more about control to possibly have more of a sphere of influence around Russia, or is it the money thing where you're saying where they don't want them to, and maybe I'm just speculating, maybe they backed these rebels but didn't really expect them to go that far. We were like,
yeah, I mean, that could be true too.
What are you doing? Not the bank. Go to the capital, bro.
We didn't mean give the guns to the Nazis. Like, what the fuck, Ukraine?
Yeah. Well, I honestly could see that happening too, where they like, because it happened before, where they backed rebels And then like 5 years later, this rebel's like, oh, those guns that you gave us,
we took
we're gonna
over a
shoot 'em at
plane
you
and
now.
we took over a plane and drove it into your building using the guns that you gave us in the 80s.
Oh, okay. That reminded me of something, and I kind of want to point this out. Did you see Reed Coverdale's tweet the other day?
No. Which one?
So
I mean, he tweets a lot.
Yeah. Well, it was really good, but it was savage as fuck. So, okay, this was the day when that federal judge deemed that mask mandate on planes was unlawful because it came from the CDC, right?
Yeah.
And then there was like a video. There's one video that came out where it was like people were cheering. They got to take their mask off on the plane. Well, there was another video, and I mean, I don't know why, but a bunch of Christians, I guess, were on the plane.
Yeah, we're singing.
They start singing, whatever, some Christian song or whatever, and Illhan Omar.
Oh yes,
tweeted it.
I saw the Illhan Omar tweet. I didn't see retweet about it though.
So Illhan Omar, the like Muslim,
I love that tweet.
Democratic representative from
great.
I think Michigan. I could be wrong about that.
Somewhere
Wisconsin,
that's not
maybe.
important.
Yeah, some shithole. So, but so she retweeted it and was like, "What would happen if me and a bunch of my people got up and started singing?" And she was referencing some Muslim song or something, some prayer. I don't really know.
She said the Muslim prayer. She was like, "What happens if I get on a plane? And how about a bunch of me and my people get on a plane and recite the Muslim prayer on a plane? How do you think that would go over?" And it's like,
yeah, how she said specifically, how do you think that would go over? So Reed Coverdale retweeted it and said, probably like this. And it was a picture of both the Twin Towers burning.
Oh my God. Dude, it was so easy. Like it's like, all right, I get that Christians are in large part have a lot to do with a lot of the shit that's happened in the history of civilization, right? Like they've created a lot of mass punishment. But in the United States, in the last 40 years, if you were to ask, the general American, is it okay to sing a Christian song on a fucking airplane? Or is it okay to sing, an Islamic prayer on a plane? One would be okay and one wouldn't. And for a pretty decent reason. Like, I'm not saying that like you should hate Muslims anymore because like, come on, like get over yourself. But if you started hearing fucking Allahu Akbar in the back of the fucking plane, my butthole would pucker a little bit. It's just like
nervous.
Yeah, it's like, well, and first off, like I've seen this one. Like I know what happens here. It's like in the DNA of all United States American people at this point. Like it's integrated into a part of our DNA. You hear that shit on a plane, you're gonna start looking around real
especially
fucking
people
quick.
our age, dude, because we grew up in the top 9/11 was on TV.
Yeah. Even if you're not
fucking
dude, I don't care if you're a green-haired, gauged out, like bull ring looking lesbian or asexual, non-charismatic, binary, whatever the fuck person, their butthole is gonna pucker too.
Yeah,
it's going to
they're
pucker.
a little nervous.
Yeah,
they're nervous.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, oh shit, something's about to go down.
It's about to happen, dude.
Yeah, like, it's just one of those things where it's like it has nothing to do with if it's right or wrong at that point. It's that one carries in an immediate history to current society.
Yeah.
And like, and that's the thing. These people aren't honest about shit. And that's the problem, right? Like we've talked about this before. It's
she knows what she was doing. She knows what she was doing.
It's not, is it racist? To an extent, yes, you could say it's racist. But
sure.
Is there a reason for the racism to be there?
Yeah, the tendency,
and it's like I'm not saying that it's right to have that thought process. I'm not saying it's wrong either. I'm just saying when a white girl goes to the hood and sees a black dude on the corner and locks her doors at a stoplight, that's not I get it, but like, is it racist? Like, come on.
Yeah. Is it racist?
He's yelling at Satan, which Satan in this instance is the fucking stoplight, and has his dick in his hand on the corner. Like, what do you like? Yeah, she's gonna lock the doors. Are you gonna get mad at her and call her a racist? Like, come on.
Yeah, I'll just be honest, dude. I mean, there's times now we don't go to the city too often, but there's been a few times that we head up to St. Louis for whatever, shopping, go see a show, whatever it is. But now we try to avoid that. Well, my dad says this. He said he tries to avoid East St. Louis. There's no reason for you to go to East St. Louis. Nothing. There
like
is
a good
just
mall there or anything.
There's nothing. I'll be honest, man. There's nothing. You enter East St. Louis, everywhere it doesn't look safe. Just everything. It's like you went through a city that they're recovering from a war, is what it looks like.
Nice.
And there, like, honestly, there's nothing. I don't think I've ever stopped in East St. Louis for anything. There's just nothing there. But there's been some times where my dad, and he swears the GPS, which I just don't really necessarily believe.
It's a faster route, I swear.
It's a faster route, I swear. I think he actually goes off the whatever the GPS says because he thinks he knows better. And don't get me wrong, like around here, that's definitely true, but not East St. Louis, dude. You don't know that area. You've probably been there 10 times your whole life. And all of a sudden, we're in some neighborhoods and things are looking, just say, different.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like your dad's the guy that pulls up to that same stoplight with the black dude with his dick in his hand and like waves, smiles, and then locks the door. Like waves and smiles at the guy and then locks the door.
Oh no, dude. When we're in East St. Louis, it's no eye contact. That is the rule. That's the rule, dude. We don't make eye contact. Head forward, keep going. Keep going.
I just imagine like dudes hollering at your mom, like, hey yo ma, hey yo ma. Like that would be the funniest thing in the world because
one time we did get yelled at in East St. Louis, it was this old lady-ish white lady, and she was on the corner of the street, and she was definitely on drugs. Like she was clearly something was going on, and she was yelled at every car that went by. And that's the only time we ever got yelled at. So if you were thinking I was going to say black people, you guys are racist.
Yeah. It's just one of those things, man, where it's like, Illhan Omar knew what she was doing. And it was a perfectly placed tweet at a perfectly placed time to really show and to really like rile up like the Republican Party, or at least like the people that still take offense to 9/11 and shit like that. Like it was perfect. It totally backs her base and her bias and what she wants. And it was a great tweet, to be honest. Like it was really good. But just to and even if
setup,
she does,
for Reed,
it was a setup, dude.
It was
it was a perfect, he knocked it out of the park. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I fucking thoroughly, everyone was like, goodbye, Reed. Goodbye. I thought he was done too. He's still on, surprisingly.
Yeah. Dude, he flies under the radar somehow. Same kind of like how we did with all of our fucking pages. For the most part, we finally got nuked on Instagram, but
yeah,
it's back up. It's sitting there.
We haven't recovered.
I know it's a work in progress. It looks like the New World Trade Center in New York.
Non-existent.
Sorry, that was a bad joke. I don't know. I just
ways.
Yeah. I just don't know. I think people got to realize they're going to keep the Democrats right now are going to double down. Like they're going to double down on everything, and they're going to double down hard. It's like what's his name? Ethan Klein. Is that his name? The fucking like Young Turks-esque comedian. He's not even Young Turks. He just started out like as an edgy Redditor comedian, And then he started pandering to the left really hardcore. He has no sponsorships in his most recent podcast because the people that listen to his show wrote to all of his sponsors and said that he was I don't remember the wording he used, but it was basically
canceled.
He's getting canceled. I don't even know why he got canceled. Tim Pool talked about it, so go listen to Tim Pool's episode. He talked about it. But he basically got all of his sponsorships were pulled this week, and it was because he was hurt. It was a different word than hurtful, but basically hurtful to the gay and lesbian community. And this guy is a guy that has been, he's the one that pulled down all of Jordan Peterson's interviews that he did with him. He like took it out of his collection because he didn't want to be.
Really?
He started pandering to the left really hard. Not pandering, but he was like, these are the people paying me, so I'm going to do these things. And now all he has is his members. And Tim Pool said it. He's like, thank God he has his members. And I don't care one way or the other. I don't support the guy. I don't know the guy. I really don't know really that much about the whole story. I just saw it. And I thought it was interesting because I know of him and I've seen some of his things. And I think I've watched one of his interviews with Jordan Peterson. And I thought it was a really good interview. And he enjoyed talking to Dr. Peterson. So like, it was like one of those things where he backed out of it because he was getting, bullied for it from the left. And now the left continued to go after him. And he's a lefty. He's like a legitimate lefty, at least to our standards, a legitimate lefty. He's probably a centrist, but like he's a lefty because all the fucking sides are crisscrossed and whatever. Yeah. But
I know
he's a legitimate lefty and he has no sponsorships. The only way his podcast, he does H3E3 or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
H3,
yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah.
H3R3 or something like that, whatever it's fucking called. And it's no more sponsorships. All they have is their members because all the sponsors pulled out.
I know the Hanson Piker, that's the young Turk guy's nephew.
It's brother,
or whatever.
Yeah, younger brother or nephew.
I think I think it's his nephew, but he is he's like a really big streamer. Like he's really big on Twitch.
Really big on Twitch.
But I know, which is weird. I think Twitch, they'll say like a ban, but their bans are temporary, but they call it a ban for some reason. But whatever. And he got banned for like 7 days from Twitch. And it was because he said cracker. He's calling white people cracker. And I know he went on Ethan Klein's podcast, and I think they both wore cracker or something like that. Some like a cracker costume or something like that. I don't remember. But it's just interesting because like I don't know. It's just interesting because I'm pretty sure. Now I don't know about Ethan. I've never really heard his position on this, but I'm just assuming that I know Hanson Piker was like, fuck these people. If they get canceled, they get canceled, whatever. And it's just kind of funny to watch them get canceled by like standard. I don't know about Ethan, but I know Hanson definitely got canceled for at least a little bit. Yeah. Because he was, if we're going to have the standard of like the left, these corporations left woke standard of like what's racist and, whatever their thing is, at least they're a little bit consistent when it's like, you can't call. I wish it's so funny because I don't think I've ever met a white person that got offended by the word cracker. Like in my life. Like I don't.
Dude, the only black people that have called me cracker said it in an endearing way. So like I was like, "What's up, cracker?" Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, what's up, dude? What's up, man? How you doing?" Yeah, that's me. I'm the cracker.
Yeah, it's me. You get called cracker by the white or black guys, and then get called gringo by the Mexicans, and you're like, dude. Oh, I guess I am.
Fucking like either gringo or wedo.
You're just happy they acknowledge you. That's all you're.
That's me. I know you're talking about me in your language.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter if it's cracker or wedo. You're like, oh, I know that's black for white guy, and I know that's Mexican for white guy. So I'll take it. That's me. Hey,
well,
how's it going?
We've gotten, I'd say, like how long we have done this podcast, and I wouldn't even say like we're the most like edgy podcast or fucking like definitely we've been on edgy topics and we say some probably edgy things, but it's pretty amazing that like for some reason, if we made video, if that's what we constantly, if we were a YouTube channel, we would have been banned like
Oh yeah.
a year ago, probably 2
Well, we would
years
have
ago.
been
Like during the
banned, like,
lockdowns.
first 10 episodes,
fucked.
we would have been banned.
Yeah, probably. But for some reason, when we like, because our main viewership is from just
Spotify.
audio, Spotify. I don't know how, but like for some reason,
Just kind of
maybe it's
flew
'cause
under
we're
the
so
radar.
small, but it's
Well,
pretty
and,
crazy.
It's also just been like I think having the face is a big difference, like unless you're a big producer, or not producer, but like a radio voice or something like that, like just the voice doesn't do it. Like a sports broadcaster, they always get fucked up for some dumbass shit, like they always get caught for saying some stupid shit during a basketball game or a baseball game or something like that, and it's just because it's their voice on camera. But you don't see like actors getting in trouble for being recorded just through their voice. It's got to be like their face in it. Like it's like always the face in it, because some people I just think have like that, like it's a very distinct voice. So when they say something that's fucked up, it's like everybody knows absolutely it's that person. And I don't think anybody really gives a shit about us. And if they did, that'd be kind of bad, because we would have been
just
fucked up.
Just the
a long time ago.
NCIS. It's no big deal.
They know about us. Yeah, there's definitely we've got to have like an ongoing investigation on us in the NCIS. They got to have at least one person checking up on us time to time.
Probably to make sure that we don't have any more active duty assholes on here talking about a hypothetical, potential, completely fake possibility that there could come a time in the far, far future that some people,
like, do you think we're changing that guy's
decide.
minds? Do you think he's just like, damn, they're funny, or whoever our NCIS agent is?
They probably think we're autistic, to be honest.
So do you think they feel bad? Guys, I'll take that.
They might feel a little bit bad. I don't know.
They're autistic. They're in the NCIS.
There's probably been a few things that we might have said that they're like, damn, that's a good point. But overall, they're probably like, these people are insane.
Yeah.
I don't know. To Alex Jones. I don't know.
Oh, did you see like Alex, like part of like 5 or 6 of Alex Jones' companies like went bankrupt? Like he had to close them down.
Well, I think it's because, so he was something about him having to be in court. I haven't really looked into this, so don't take my word for anything. But he having to be in court or some reason, and he filed bankruptcy to avoid going to court.
Oh, see, I didn't see that.
So I might be wrong about that, but just a few things that I saw, it seemed like that was the reason he was filing bankruptcy. Was I don't even know if that makes sense. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't even know if that would work. But
yeah,
it seemed like
I just wanted to touch on the Hassan Piker thing, and because there's 2 guys that I follow all the time on YouTube. They're really fucking funny. They're comedians out of Canada. It's Abba and Preach. I told you about them a couple of times, but they have a whole thing right now with Hassan Piker, because he was talking about he doesn't give a shit if trans women have an advantage over men or over women in women's sports. He's like, fuck them. Like, I don't care. Like, they deserve to be there. This is Hassan Piker's fucking thing. And so,
really?
Oh yeah. He's like, fuck them. I don't care. They're women. They get to be there. There's always performance. There's always differences in performance. He's like, get better. Like, that's his standpoint. And he was calling Abba and Preach trans, like trans haters basically, and like transphobic and all this. And they're like, we're not fucking, they're from Canada. They're pretty progressive. Like, they're pretty progressive, but they're fucking funny ass comedians. Like, you'll like some of their videos. They're pretty fucking good. And I watch them quite a bit, like when I'm driving around for work, and they're really fucking funny. And they're just, they go about things logically, and then they have their comedian spiel. And then a lot of it is like, they're just fucking around and doing the comedy thing. Like, they're like, this isn't a real episode. They did a whole thing on Ukraine and just like made shit up about what's happening in Ukraine. Like, it was really funny because they were like, we don't, like, that's not something that we really care about right now. Like, that's not something that's really a part of our shit. Like, they kind of have the standpoint that wars are used to make a lot of people money. That's and it's not beneficial to the population. So they're like, we've already touched on this enough. Like, we're not going to make content about it. Their whole thing is about like reaction videos and stuff like that, where their followers try to get them to do. Anyways, so they have a whole thing with Hassan Piker. And then I saw recently with the Hassan Piker thing where he went to Coachella and people are like, this you, bro, because Hassan Piker is a giant socialist, right? And he's wearing an $1,100 fucking shirt at Coachella. And they're like, this you, bro? And he's like, he's a millionaire at this point from his Twitch stream.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are you doing for socialism? And it's a whole bunch of righties and like libertarians and stuff. But still, it's like, it's the same thing that we said about Bernie Sanders. It's like, what the fuck is this? What is this?
Yeah, like the most popular socialist in America are the best fucking capitalist.
Oh,
like
the
they
actually,
they are.
It's crazy
so
when they
it.
actually sell a product that people are willing to pay for.
Yeah. Like fucking Bernie Sanders and his book deals. He's wrote, I don't know, he wrote a few books about socialism and
shit. You know what's really funny about it is people are willing to pay for the socialist ideal, but not willing to pay for rent in their house.
Yeah, that's a little weird. Yeah, like, but that's what's crazy, dude, is because like, you know, don't get me wrong, like just pure content making fucking capitalist mindset. Hanson Piker's doing great. He's fucking doing great. And it's really like, you know, like what can I fucking really criticize about him? Like, I don't make millions of dollars.
Yeah, if I compared our podcast to his stream, like, come on now. Like, there's a clear winner and there's a clear loser.
Yeah. And it's like, but it's just so impressive that he talks about all this. I mean, I think he kind of buys in a lot of this woke stuff. I guess, basically you're just telling me about that. And then I know he's a lefty and like all this government do everything thing, but like anyone can just kind of look at it and be like,
we said if they paid us enough, we'd be socialists.
That's true, dude. I'd fucking put on the communist hat. Like, people like, how much money? $20,000 right now? Yeah, I'd be a socialist real quick, dude.
You'd pay us both $65,000 a year.
I'm more of a capitalist than I am a libertarian.
Yeah.
So I see it as I'm just making money.
That's a capitalistic endeavor.
Yeah, I'm being the best capitalist I can, dude. I changing with the wind. Oh, we're letting dogs and women swimming now. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Maybe that's what all these politicians have been doing. They're just true capitalists. Maybe we've got it all wrong. Maybe they aren't socialists that think this, that, or the other. They're just true capitalists and will do whatever wherever the money leads. They don't care about the morality of anything. They don't care about.
Yeah. Are you saying that this capitalist mentality causes politicians to make wrong decisions in government?
Yeah.
To get get huge checks in their bank account from weapons company so they can make money.
Yeah, dude, we tell people all the time, do what benefits you, because what benefits you should benefit society. Maybe we just proved that wrong.
Maybe we're not capitalist.
We're socialists now. No, we are. Maybe we're not libertarians now. We're just strictly capitalists.
It's just strictly.
We're strictly capitalistic. Like, all I care about is capitalism. Like, if that means a fucking propaganda United States Marine Corps podcast is what they need, and I'm getting paid for it, bet.
That is a voluntary exchange.
Medley
exchanging. I'm exchanging my time to produce content in the Marine Corps.
Ophelia Johnson, 1918.
1918. That's the only one I ever remember, dude. You know the woke shit that was already there in boot camp before we even realized it.
All right, hold on. Doesn't Ophelia Johnson sound like a black woman?
That's what I thought.
I literally thought she was black the entire time. And then I saw a picture of her, whiter than white.
Yeah.
Wider
Yeah,
than white.
And I think she was just like admin. Like,
Yeah,
I don't even
she was
think
like nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
think she just
in
fucking-
1918, you think they're gonna put her in the fucking field, bro?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, what
They
are you
just
gonna
got the
do?
right to vote. What are they gonna do?
I feel like
fire. They're gonna give them a
yeah.
gun. They just got the right to vote.
I feel like this wasn't like some women's rights thing. I feel like the generals just wanted some eye candy.
They wanted
Like,
a
I think they just-
secretary.
Yeah, they wanted a secretary that they can see their ankles, dog. Like, they were, you know, the Great War, World War I. That shit's stressful, dude.
Yeah, dude.
You need, you know, the fucking privates and PFCs, you know, they can't see women because they're fighting. But when you're a general, you've done your time. You've been there for years. And
I
you're
was there.
the stress of strategically trying to figure out where your troops should go. And you have to mentally think about like the lives that you're sacrificing to get your ribbons and promotion. That is like very hard for people to take in.
Yeah.
So a little bit of stress relief. Let's bring Ophelia Johnson in. Let's bring her in here.
You know, speaking of sexual assault, we didn't really we didn't really cover the Ghislaine Maxwell trial that much. There's a lot to read.
True.
You know, there's a lot to fucking read there.
There was no video.
There's no video. It's not as interesting. This is 2022. You know, it's 2022. I think, did it even take place in 2022? I don't even remember now. Wasn't it the end of 2021?
The end of 2021. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, there's no fucking video. This is the 21st century. No video. Not interested. I'm sorry. I'll say it.
Yeah. There's
I know what I'm
probably
about.
some serious allegations and serious information that came from that trial. And I didn't spend any time looking it up.
Not
And
a goddamn minute. And I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. You know
I'm
why?
ashamed to admit it.
Because it's the 21st century. I need the media. I need to be able to see what's going on. I want to see these people's reactions.
Yeah,
when
those fucking sketchy artwork they make and they put it like they print it out and it's like
their tits weren't big enough in the picture. I know how big they
Yeah.
are in real life.
yeah. How am I supposed to stay interested when I can't look at Ghislaine Maxwell's tits?
I'm saying. So, you know, like I can't do the whole reading thing. You know, this is why you all love us. This is why you love us. We're not here to be intelligent. We're here to give you stupid takes. So this is why I am proposing that the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial is way more important than the Ghislaine Maxwell trial.
It is 100%. One, Amber Heard's pretty hot.
Yeah. And two, Johnny Depp's pretty hot.
I will say he has this little mysterious thing about him, and he wears like 30 accessories where he's got like bracelets and fucking shit. And
It's kind of hard to tell.
it's kind of interesting to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about him. Like, and he's a good actor. You've seen
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean. I like
Look at him on the
Captain
stand.
Jack Sparrow. Yeah, not much different. I kind of like, you know, and a lot more people like in your normal. If you go to the bar and you talk about the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, no one cares.
People want
No
reality
one
TV.
cares. They don't care about possible sex trafficking ring with multiple children that indict probably multiple politicians, major corporations, whatever. No one cares about that. But what is important in this country is when an actor and an actress, and there's probably some domestic violence that went on. Now that is content, baby.
Yeah.
That is what the American people want. You
That
watched
is
a
the
lot
American
more-
dream.
You watched a lot more of this. I wish I would have caught this, but you said what are they called? The Rakita Law
Piker?
guys.
Rakita.
He was doing.
Yeah, so-
you watched a little bit of it.
So
What-
they've been
What
doing
went
it.
down?
So they've been doing it the whole time, like the whole trial. I guess it's been like 7 days at this point. But yesterday I caught day 6 or day 7, the last day, because today, Friday, the 22nd, they recessed, or they didn't come into court today. It'll come back on Monday. So I don't really know what happened in the original court case. So there was a court case in the UK, and it was the actual allegations of Amber Heard saying that Johnny Depp abused her. I don't know the answer.
Was the internet right?
I think the internet is right, because I don't see how he can go to the UK with counts. I don't think he was found guilty in the UK. This was a while ago. This was last year, I guess.
I didn't even
So
know.
I didn't.
Okay.
I guess there was already a court case. I kind of remember hearing about it. Didn't really pay attention. No video, like I said. So didn't really pay attention. Apparently they had a court case. I don't know. I don't even know what the ending result of that court case, if he was found. It was a criminal trial. I don't even know if he was found guilty or not. I'm guessing not, because he's out and about, and he's suing Amber Heard here in the US for defamation. Oh. That's what this case is about.
Oh, okay.
And it's a $50 million defamation suit. So that's what he's suing Amber Heard for. So it's a civil suit, right? And well, actually, I don't know if it's a civil suit. I'm pretty sure it's a civil suit, but Rakita Law, I don't know. Some of the things that they said kind of made it seem like it was more of a criminal or like a judicial. But no, because there's a jury. I don't know. Is there civil suits? Is there a jury?
I have no idea.
I don't fucking know.
No
I don't care. Actually, I don't care. So anyways, he's suing Amber Heard for $50 million for a defamation lawsuit claiming damages, right? And I saw
to his face?
day. Huh? No, just damages to defamation. So like saying that he out of his, like they were defaming his character, like who he is, kind of basically. And so it's been going on for a couple days, and I watched the Rakita Law shit, and Johnny Depp is Jack Sparrow. Like he is Jack fucking Sparrow. The only way he's not Jack Sparrow is in some of the videos. Honestly, all right, to be honest, Johnny Depp seems like a very, very pained, like, artist. Like, you know, the typical stories that you hear about fucking Van Gogh and, you know, fucking Marilyn Manson and Leonardo da Vinci, like that just beautiful ideas, crazy talent, and just fucking kind of insane. Has some sort of mental disorder and never really figures it out. That's kind of what
like
Johnny
really
Depp
weird.
Yeah, just super
really
weird,
fucking
very
weird.
eclectic, like very out there. And fucking everybody knew this about Johnny Depp. Like everybody knew this about Johnny Depp. And so like the only time he seems like a bad guy is basically he seems like a bitch. He's like throwing shit around first thing in the morning, like coffee cups and shit like that. But then redeems himself by filling up a mega pint of goddamn wine in a glass at 7 o'clock in the morning.
This is his redemption.
Yeah, that's his redemption. Like, I understand. You're angry in the morning. It's the fucking morning. You're Johnny fucking Depp.
I just want to know, does he ever hit her?
So from what I've seen so far, it doesn't look like they have a case to actually show that he ever hit her. But there is clear audio evidence of her saying, or he was like, "You punched me." And she said, "No, I didn't punch you. I hit you. There's a difference. I'm sorry I didn't open hand slap you. I hit you. I did not punch you." And she says it over and over and over again. And they've brought up basically the entire time. Rakita Law has been sitting here like, what is Amber Heard's defense doing right now? Like they just like bring up separate times randomly throughout their entire relationship where it sounds like he was either doing drugs or you know, talking up Amber Heard or then saying like really fucking crazy things. He called her he said he wanted to have sex with her dead body after she dies in a car accident. to his
Like,
friend.
Johnny Depp said this?
Yeah, dude. Let me see if I can pull up some of Johnny Depp's text messages. Dude, he says some really dark shit. Like I said, he's a crazy guy. Like, he's kind of a crazy guy. But we knew this. Like, he hangs out with Marilyn Manson. He said on the stand, he's like, they're asking him about this one time that Marilyn Manson came into town in Australia while he was shooting Pirates. And they asked him, they're like, well, is this text message talking about ecstasy or this, that, or the other? And he's like, I once had to give Marilyn Manson a pill to stop talking. And it was like, he's been really,
I saw that.
He's been literally Jack Sparrow on the stand. Like, he's been witty, he's been funny. And Amber Heard has been copying his outfits every day. So like, he'll wear an outfit one day and the next day she'll come in wearing almost the exact same thing. It's fucking wild, dude. She's like playing mind games with this guy still. And she does look like the fucking bad guy. She looks like in my opinion, she looks like the fucking bad guy. I love Johnny Depp, so I'm biased.
Listen,
But
before
a lot of
this
people have
trial
said,
yeah, before this trial happened, I know the internet decided that Amber Heard was in the wrong. Now, before I even knew really anything, everyone decided that Amber Heard was in the wrong. Now, I just jumped on the bandwagon because that's what I like to do.
Yeah. And Johnny Depp.
It's Johnny Depp, dude. What the fuck was Amber Heard in?
Never Back Down.
I was gonna say
Aquaman.
DC Aquaman. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, see, this is where I sympathize with Johnny Depp, because I mean, we can't deny Amber Heard is very attractive. I think that's just a thing to say. That's not that crazy. And
here's this. Hold on, I gotta read this text message. So this is his text message. Johnny Depp's text exchange with Avenger star Paul Bettany. Depp, let's burn Amber. That's how he's. And then Bettany, who's Paul Bettany? I'm sure I know him, but I don't know who the fuck it is. But he's like, I don't think we should burn her. She's delightful company and easy on the eye. Also, I'm not sure she's a witch. We could do a drowning test first. Thoughts? P.S. I have a pool. And then Johnny Depp was like, let's drown her before we burn her. I will fuck her burnt corpse afterwards to make sure she's dead. And then Bettany, my thoughts entirely. Let's be certain before we pronounce her a witch.
Okay, now I'll be honest. This does sound crazy, and for it to be read in a courtroom is just kind of insane. But this sounds like our group chat. Like, it doesn't. You just kind of go with it, and you don't. You're just saying shit to say shit, and you're trying to be funny with your friends and go along with it. But at the same time, when you read that, it sounds like he wants to kill her, and he probably
did at certain in certain instances. He probably did
when he was.
She cut off his finger.
Oh my god!
That's finger.
That blows my mind, because I just saw this video today, and it was Johnny Depp. He was in his Jack Sparrow costume at some a bunch of dying kids at the hospital, and they were like, what happened to your finger? And he's like, oh, I ate it. And he was joking around with the kids, like, I just got really hungry and I bit it off. And someone's like, that was because of Amber. And I was like, what are you talking about? She cut off his finger?
So she didn't use like a knife. Apparently they were in an argument in Australia, and so it's not definitive that she cut off his finger, but what it is they were drinking, arguing, and she grabbed a bottle of vodka and threw it at him while his hand was over a counter, and the bottle smashed and then sliced off part of his finger. And then this is where it gets better, and this is why it's like, it's hard. It's not hard to be on Johnny Depp's side. It's like, man, this bitch drove him actually insane, because then he goes and writes messages all over the walls in his blood with his finger.
Dude, what?
And then once the blood ran out, he dipped his cut off finger into paint thinner and continued to write messages on the wall. But there was one specific picture that they talked about on the in the in the trial, was there was a dick on one of the pictures, like a giant dick on one of the pictures written in paint thinner.
Dick, dude? Was Johnny Depp in the military?
But Johnny Depp was like, I don't remember drawing that. And he's kind of like saying like, I didn't draw that. If you look at all the other ones that I drew, it doesn't make sense for me to draw a dick. Like there was a shit ton of other pictures of, you know, he didn't draw any pictures. He just wrote messages all over the walls. Creepy as fuck still. But yeah, there's a giant dick, and he's like, he stands by basically that Amber Heard went back and drew a giant penis on this picture to blame it on Johnny Depp.
Oh my god, dude! This trial is so much more interesting than the fucking kids. Like this is just insane, dude.
Yes. And he's been really funny the entire time. It's honestly it's a joy to watch.
That's what I've seen is the clips. That's all I've seen is the clips of him being like kind of snarky when he's on the stand and stuff.
And he wasn't like people are like, well, maybe that's going to turn off the jurors to him because he's being sarcastic. And it's like, no, not the prosecutor, but the lawyer for Amber Heard has been kind of snarky towards him, and he just kind of responds wittily back to him. Like it hasn't been like he's been the one that's like flippant and, you know, arrogant about it. He's kind of arrogant, but it's not so much. It's more arrogance in his innocence. And the whole reason why he brought up, most people don't think he's going to win this suit. And most people believe that he doesn't think he's going to win this suit. Most people believe that the only reason why he did this is because he wants the truth to come out in the court of public opinion. And he's like, I'll spend whatever money I have to.
That's really smart. That's really smart.
So that's why I think it's interesting. Like the trial is fucking interesting. And the last day was pretty fucking interesting. Like there's been a lot of the trial has been muddled down in hearsay. Like both lawyers keep saying that's hearsay because you can't prove it. It's what did somebody say at this point in time? That's hearsay.
Probably,
And so he's talking about a specific instance, and they're like, and he stops because he's gotten hearsay all fucking day, like objection hearsay. And he stops and looks at the fucking the Amber Heard's lawyer, and he doesn't say anything. And he's like, oh, like surprised. And then because he's stopped talking because he was like, oh, this is going to lead to a hearsay objection. And then the guy's like, actually, he's right. Objection, hearsay. And he's like, oh, I'm learning. Like he says it on the fucking stand. And it's really fucking funny. But dude, I'll try and find some more of the text messages.
He's got to be good. I mean, and he's known to dress up, and he's very personable. He's known to like go into crowds and be with his fans and stuff. So he knows how to work a crowd a little bit. And I think, that's why I think that he kind of can read the room. Like if he's being witty or snarky, and he sees how the jury reacts, then I don't think he would do that anymore. And that was one thing that a lot of people about OJ Simpson is he was good at reading the room. He knew what the fucking jury, how they responded to him, and he would adjust based on the reaction. And I think, honestly, in a lot of ways, I think actors have an advantage in the courtroom because
by far
they know how to put on a little bit of a show. And to be honest, like we talked about this, dude, everything's a fucking show. Perception is reality. And when you have a jury, you need to kind of put on a show and try to relate to them in a way, make them react in a positive way toward you. And I just kind of assuming right now, but I think that Johnny Depp kind of knows what he's doing. And it seems like he's playing 3D chess, and fucking Amber Heard is just kind of playing checkers.
Well, she played chess when it came to the actual trial, like the criminal trial against him. Like she came out hard. from what I've heard. But right now, I think, right now, I think she's banking on the Me Too movement, and a lot of people. She pooped on his bed.
Well,
she took a shit on his bed. And so then the thing that started trending was hashtag me poo.
I did
was
not
trending.
know this.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! This
she took a shit on his bed.
Well, so
while her friends were there.
Jesus Christ. Okay, the timing for Amber Heard really sucks.
Yeah.
Because I'll just say that now, whether you like it or not, this Jada Pinkett Smith thing, I think kind of has a little bit of an effect on this this going on right now with Johnny Depp. Because, you know, again, the internet has decided the public opinion of Jada Pinkett Smith is not good. Like, it's like they do not like her. I don't think people are big fans of Will Smith right now either, but more people.
I think a lot of people think Will Smith is a pussy. I think that's what they're thinking.
Yeah, he's pussy whipped. I think that's what a lot of people think, is he's pussy whipped. And I mean, you know, he's kind of a bad person too. But at the same time, with that whole debacle coming to light and that becoming more prevalent just recently. Just recently, people are talking about how manipulative and miserable this person is. And I've already seen people compare Amber Heard to Jada Pinkett Smith. And
that's kind of how it's going.
And that's pretty much what I've gotten. And I didn't know how the trial was, because I already kind of knew the internet was a little bit biased. So I didn't really know how it was going on in the trial or anything. But from everything I've heard and from you talking, I mean, this is where I'm like a little bit sympathetic to Johnny Depp, because it's like, now a little bit of it is his own fault.
Yes.
Because he continued. The sex has to be great, dude. Like, it has to be. I mean,
he's what, 55, 60? And she's...
How old's Amber Heard?
30?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And like, that's where it's like, I think he had this sort of mentality of like, I can fix her. Like it started off and it was like, oh, this is a little rough. Like, this is bad type of deal. Like, there was probably like 30 red flags within the first like 6 months. I guarantee you.
Dude, he wrote he wrote in one of the bloody fingerprint things, he was like Billy Bob's whore or something like that. She was shooting a video or a movie with Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh.
And so he called, dude, and they stayed together. So that's the thing. There's like there's like specific instances where it's like crazy shit was said. Crazy shit was said, right?
Yeah.
And like fucking outlandishly wildest shit was said.
I bet, dude.
And
I've
there
been
was
there, baby.
Physical. Yeah, I know you have. But then there was physical altercations between both people.
It never went there. I just want to say that for the record.
I know that too. But there was like physical altercations between both people. One where Depp was restraining Amber. He was like, because she was hitting him or something like that. And then they ended up hitting each other's nose, or they called it a headbutt. And he was like, no, we bumped heads. And apparently her nose was broken, but there's no medical evidence that her nose was broken from that. So anyways, he could have headbutted her. He might not have headbutted her. They could have collided heads. You know, it's just one of those things. But there is very clear evidence. Either Johnny Depp is the manliest man of all and knows how to, and has constantly talked up this game where it's just like he sidestepped the truth the entire time, so you can't legally pin it on him.
Yeah.
Or he's like blatantly innocent.
The only thing I'm speculating, could be completely wrong, have no evidence at all. I barely watched the trial. I'm just saying, when you're dealing with a crazy, right? Like she's insane. You know she's insane, but for some reason, you're still there. You don't really know why. Everyone around you tells you not to, but
We've both been through
there.
this.
Yes,
both
that's
been
what I'm
through
saying.
this.
Like, yeah, and you're still there. Like your friends have told you.
You
man.
went out with one. You and Nick went out with one while I was at work, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not coming." Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not coming. I'm just gonna go home." And you're like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
Like we took her out because you were coming out, and I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm just gonna go home."
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying, yeah, it's so fucking weird because I don't know, like, but then like just kind of like a side thing real quick, but like when you're in that friend group and your friend is obviously dating someone that's crazy and really bad for them, but then you start to accept it in a way because you're like,
"Oh, what am I gonna deal with it?"
Like, what am I gonna do, right? Like, I don't want to hang out with my friend, and he wants to hang out with this girl. I think this girl's terrible, a horrible human being. But you still go along with it. So I think this is the kind of situation with Johnny Depp. So I'm not saying that Johnny Depp ever hurt this woman, but I will say, if Amber Heard, which what it seems like is Amber Heard kind of was started off as crazy. She's the physical one. She's aggressive. At some point in time, there might have been a breaking point for Johnny Depp. Now, I'm not saying this headbutt thing was Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
But, I mean, any guy out there, but I'm not saying this. I never did this. Luke's never done this. I'm not saying this at all. But there is this feeling you get sometimes where like a woman that you're with kind of, she's towing the line where it's like, this is kind of getting close to domestic abuse. Not necessarily it is. It's not. But
right.
Or it's like they kind of physically do something to you and you're like, you motherfucker. But because you're a man, you know the perception is reality. We know that.
And
like,
we also had it drilled into us while we were in.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like, you're done. If this happens, you're done.
Oh, for sure. When you're in the Marine Corps, especially, dude, you had to, you're in the Marine Corps, even if it was a dude, some fucking dude at the bar, you know that if you get in a fight with him, your repercussions for that fight, even if he started it, are so much more severe than what will probably be for him. He'll get thrown out of the bar. Oh, big deal. You get.
Yeah,
you
with
don't
a
even
civilian.
Know,
yeah, if it's with a
you
civilian,
have no idea.
You're fucked.
Yeah, because you get in a fight, there's pretty high possibility the cops get involved. That's any fight you ever get in, just know that's a real possibility that will happen. The cops can get involved. So in your mind, especially in the Marine Corps, I will not do that. I am not risking
the allegations
in random.
The allegations in the Marine Corps for sexual assault and stuff like that are extremely, extremely high. Extremely high. And I'm not saying that,
but never be proven guilty, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So even if you didn't do anything and you were proven to not do anything, you can still lose your entire career. Your entire career, and it follows you outside. And so it's like, it's just one of those things where you just don't put yourself in those positions.
Yeah.
And that's one of my things. That's what I tell everybody. It's like, people will talk about this and like, she's clearly egging on Johnny Depp. And it's like, yeah. But at a certain point, you have to remove yourself completely from the situation, no matter how hard it is. Because you have, and especially after years, like that's what I'm saying. There's like multiple instances where this has been a thing. Multiple.
Well, yeah.
And like in my head, like I'm gone. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if I have 17 children with this girl. It'd be like, nah, bro. Like I can't do that because you're fucked. You're fucked.
Well, yeah, like, sorry, men out there, but there is a double standard. The double standard is the standard.
There's
You
a
have to know
taint on
this.
your name and you're done regardless.
Oh,
there
yeah,
will always be that
100%.
question of did you, and there will be a largely preceding resounding judgment of yes, he did, he just got away with it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're if you're a young person and you find yourself in a relationship where you're screaming and yelling at each other and the woman is getting kind of violent for you, you need to leave. You need to leave immediately.
You need to record everything. You need to start recording right then and then leave.
Leave. Get the fuck out of there. Because
when you leave, you're going to get
never know.
fucking decked in the back of the head. So you might as well record it.
Yeah, you need to know. You need to know. And that's the thing, dude, is like, I'm not saying it's justified in any way or whatever, because as much as people want to say that like men and women are equal or whatever, but I kind of tend to the side
we're not.
That, yeah, we're not. And I kind of tend on the side that like, as a man, you need to do everything in your power not to get violent at all. Because one, the repercussions are worse for you. And two, like, let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. If she hits you in the face, maybe it'll give you a black eye, but you can do some damage.
It's like,
let's just be honest.
I think Nick talked about it on our podcast. His girlfriend at the time fell off his back on her and fell, like he was giving her a piggyback ride. She flailed and fell off his back, and people thought he punched her. He was a black dude and she's a little Italian woman. Yeah. Basically looks white. And people around thought he punched her. And she said no, but people just were like, no, you don't have to lie, honey. You don't have to lie, honey.
Yeah.
And it's like, he was giving her a piggyback ride, being nice, being a good boyfriend. And she fell off his back because she was being crazy drunk, which not a bad thing. Like, no, it's not her fault. Like, she didn't do anything wrong. Yeah. But the people around were like, no, he punched her. And obviously this is drunk on fucking Mill Avenue at a ungodly time where people are doing ungodly things. But like at the same time,
they saw like 4 of Nick's and 4 of fucking the girlfriend, and they just assume, this dude's punching his girlfriend.
Thank God nothing actually came of it. But like, and thank God Nick kept his cool, because usually he doesn't, but he was with a girl that he truly cared about at the time. So like, it went over, it smoothed itself out. But just that, he could have gotten fucking railroaded, especially if the girl woke up the next morning. Like, let's say it wasn't a girl that he had known for a while or something like that. It was a girl that he had met out on their first date, and he was giving her a piggyback ride to the car because her feet hurt and she was drunk and she didn't remember. She wakes up the next morning. He
dropped him, something like that.
She wakes up the next morning and it's like, damn, I got a black eye because I fell flat on my fucking face. And I woke up and there's a police report because people called the police because he punched her. Like, that could have ended horribly. And that happens. That shit happens, bro. I'm telling you, that shit happens. So like, you just have
plenty of times where there's allegations in the Marine Corps. Allegations in the Marine Corps.
And even on that was honestly, outside the Marine Corps.
Yeah, exactly. But I think the fear of like getting in trouble by the law, it really, like, the height of it went in when we were in the Marine Corps.
Yeah,
because it was just because anything, like almost anything, you can get in trouble for. I mean, if they like they say in America, technically every civilian in America commits a felony like every day.
Yeah.
For whatever it is. In the Marine Corps, it's basically ramped up to like 5. Like, you commit some sort of crime. Yeah, some sort of crime that violates the UCMJ, and they could fucking nail you for it if they're having a bad day. Like, it's just, that's the reality of it. And I think that heightened sense when we were like out and stuff, it was like, bro, we gotta be careful. Like,
you have to.
Whatever, you have no idea. You have no idea. I mean, don't be wrong. There's certain situations where like this will never get back to your command. But at the same time, you just don't know. And that fear is always in like your fucking head, dude.
Yeah, you always try to get away with shit. Like, you're always trying to get away with shit. Because a lot of shit that you're trying to get away with is stupid shit. It'd be the equivalent of speeding like 5 miles per hour over in certain places.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're getting away with. But it's like, come on, should that destroy the rest of my life? And in the Marine Corps, it could destroy the rest of your fucking life. And so like at that point, it was just like, you're just like, nah, like, and that's why, fuck, dude, outside the military, I've been like, inside the military, we got in fights all the time. Like, you got in fights with other people all the time. It was a common occurrence. You just get in fights. Like, fuck, I fought Nick a few times. Like, you fight your friends, you fight people that aren't your friends, you fight your friends' friends, you fight your friends' enemies. Like, you just do. Like, it's just, that's what the Marine Corps is.
A lot of
like, that just happens
for no reason.
And usually afterwards, you're just buying each other beers afterwards. Like, dude, that was a good rumble. Like, fuck, we're stupid, we were drunk, blah 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 blah.
So
blah.
weird. Yeah.
And you get the fuck over it. And that's kind of like a dude thing too. But outside the Marine Corps, I didn't let Typo fight anybody. I didn't let Nick fight anybody. Nick has gotten fights only when I'm not there. I don't think Typo has ever gotten a fight outside the Marine Corps, but
no,
I've never gotten a fight outside the Marine Corps because the problems that you will have afterwards are worse. Like,
yes,
you can get in fights with other Marines on a Marine Corps base, and basically everybody shuts the fuck up about it because you have a beer afterwards, and it's like, what happened to your face? And it's like, I fell down the stairs.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like,
almost
whatever.
like it's almost like an
abusive relationship.
Yeah.
You know, like I felt, but it's just like, that's just how it is. It's just like a code of silence, basically. Like, people, sometimes you get fucked up. It's just like, it sounds stupid, but it's like the warrior code. Like, you get in a fight with somebody, you fight them, and you don't take it too far. And if you do take it too far, people pull you off. Like, that's your job. Like, that's your friend's job. You guys get to fight. You let people fight one-on-one. You try not to let anybody else in because some people don't have the same ethics.
There's untold rules.
Yeah. And so you just do it like that. But outside the military, it's not like that. And it's arguably worse because, well, it's only worse when it's Marine on a base, it's different. But when it's Marine on civilian while you're active duty, you're fucked regardless. Like, you're fucked regardless. Yeah. But when it's civilian on civilian, it's a toss-up, but the toss-up is not worth it because you don't have the backing of, all right, I get an assault charge or some shit like that, and I go back and I'm still in the Marine Corps, and I have, 90 and 90, 90 days half pay, 90 days fucking checking in, and a reduction in pay. Yeah, 90-day restriction, and then I'm fucking a reduction in pay and a reduction in grade. Like, okay, but I still have a job, I still have a place to sleep, I still have all these things. In the civilian world, you could go to the brig too in the Marine Corps, but like, usually for an assault like that, you're not going to the brig. You know what I mean? Like, you're not, like, unless you almost kill this person, then you're just going to regular prison. You're not going to the brig. But like,
you're going to brig for a little bit, and then you go to prison.
Yeah, like you get in a fight and you guys get broken up by the cops, like, you're getting restriction and shit like that. Like, you're not going to the fucking prison. But like, outside the military, it's a toss-up. And it's very difficult to prove. And especially when it comes to women and being involved, like, like in the Marine Corps, you're fucked. Like, no matter what, you're fucked. Like, there's almost zero chance of them taking your side. Almost zero.
Yeah.
And like, people, and the only time it is if you're a fucking officer or above.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
you only get away with, you have like some sort of rank under you, maybe some sort of name to yourself. But like, if you're just a regular gen pop fucking dude, they toss you out like a motherfucker. But that's what I'm saying, is like, that's what we were talking about. Like, Johnny Depp is like, he put himself in the situation, and I'm probably positive that there's been times where he's just like, I want to fucking hit this girl. Like, I want to swing as hard as I can.
What's a little headbutt right here? What's a little headbutt?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, dude.
We just clashed heads.
We clashed heads, and that you can take a headbutt a lot more than she can. And it's just a little bit of letting her know.
that was the funny part. His lawyer was like, you would agree that he said this specifically. He was like, you would agree that you're bigger than her, right? And he's like, no, I wouldn't agree with that. And if you look at them side by side, they're like
the same height.
They're like same height, pound for pound. Like they're not any different. Like it's pretty crazy. But it was just like one of those things. And I like if I was him, I'd be like, I'm 55 years old. Like
yeah,
I'm an old man.
Card.
My back hurts.
Yeah.
But
and this is where it gets like tricky. Because I will say at the same time, like you as a man, you got to do everything you can not to be in this situation and not fucking hit a woman at all possible. That's what you need to not do.
Well, and you shouldn't, right? Like just in general,
of course.
You relatively shouldn't.
Unless they fuck up your sandwich. But at the same time, you can't do that thing. But I know, like we've been out in the bars, we've been in the Marine Corps, we've seen plenty of fucking times where it's just this woman just wailing on this dude. Just fucking like she thinks she can do whatever she wants.
And for the most part, I've never seen a dude swing back. Out in public.
For the most part, I've never seen it. There's only been a few times where I've seen it like maybe they were going to, but everyone's like, whoa, oh, now we're gonna get involved because the fucking dude's about to swing. And it's like, oh my God, dude. And like maybe don't get me wrong, maybe I'm biased a little bit just because I'm on the man side. But at the same time, like we've seen it plenty of times where like chicks are just like straight up decking the dude in the face. And I'm sure, don't get me wrong, it probably it's not the same as being hit by a dude, but there's a fucking limit, man.
Yeah.
There's really a limit.
I got a big nose. It gets tapped once, I see red. I see
exactly. Red. You get a little fucking frustrated. And that's never
it's like that. It's like that pinch, when like somebody pinches you, like they didn't mean to pinch you. It's like a little kid. They're like play biting you or some shit, or like a dog, they like play bite you or something like that. And they just get you right. And you're just like, oh shit, that was a 4-year-old. And it's fucking
yeah. Well, that's
it's just like an instant anger. Like at a certain point, it's just there. And is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know. That's not like for me to decide. That's for y'all to decide. But for the most part, you should remove yourself from that situation before you ever get in it. Because for the most part, everybody's going to look down on you, regardless of how society is trying to structure itself right now.
Yeah. Like that's the thing, dude. If like whoever you're with, say you have kids with them, they're about to murder your children. And you beat the fuck out of them.
Hammered pair, ready.
Yeah. If you fucking beat the shit out of them because they're about to murder your kids, like, don't get me wrong. I think you did an okay thing. Like, I think it's fine.
Probably the right thing.
Probably the right thing. But at the same time, it's much harder for you as a dude to prove that you saved your children's lives than if it was reversed. Now, if a woman fucking murdered her husband and then be like, oh, he was trying to kill my kids. The reality is it's so much easier for them to convince that than the reverse, than a man to convince people to be like, my wife or girlfriend was about to murder my kid. And that's just the reality of the world. I'm not even saying that.
And that's the thing we talk about all the time, how like there's a lot of people that don't live in reality. And like whether it's the trans sports thing or, Illhan Omar talking about fucking what if her people were saying a prayer on a plane or, there's all these people that don't live in reality and they say these things and it doesn't matter. Like to be legitimate, it doesn't matter if you think that's the principled position. And holy shit, we're going to get it all from the libertarians right now. It doesn't really matter if it's the principled position because you do not live in reality, because you do not understand the way things work. And even if that is the way things should work, it doesn't fucking matter You have to, and I hate it. Believe me, I hate it. And I honestly believe the best way to go about your life is by doing what you think is correct, as long as you're not, fucking hurting people, as long as you're not going around being like the biggest fucking asshole in the world, as long as you're doing right by the people around you. I think you do that to the best of your extent. But there's some instances where you have to play the fucking game. You have to, and I hate the game. Don't get me wrong, I fucking hate the game. Hey, the credit shit, it's a fucking game. Buying a house, not buying a house, it's a fucking game. You have to find the right way in, the right way out, when to go, when not to go. There's things that are the game that absolutely benefit you. And if you don't understand what reality is, you're in a world of fucking hurt, and you play the game as much as possible the way you want to play it. But there's certain instances where you play the game by other people's rules just to keep your head above fucking water, because if you don't, you're gonna fucking drown.
Yeah, that's fucking really good advice. That's it's just true, dude. You gotta, like, like when you're going for, like, the simplest way is like when you're going for a job interview.
Yeah.
You put on a show. You put on a little show.
You put
If
on
you're
a
not
fucking
putting on
tie. You tuck in your shirt.
Yeah.
You put on a belt.
You put on a shirt, you dress nice, whatever you need to do. I'm not saying like when you're doing the job interview, you're not presenting the real you. No one does that.
And everybody knows, and that's why it's a
you.
game.
Yes.
That's why it's a game, because everybody knows that's not you normally. What employer legitimately thinks that you're showing up to this McDonald's job in a nice shirt and a tie, slacks and a belt, and think that, oh, this guy's professional. He's trying to get hired at McDonald's for $15 an hour.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense to think that that's the real you. Like, it doesn't make sense.
No.
But it's a part of society that is a part of the game that we've so unjustly been forced to play. And you do it.
And like, I think most people, well, I don't want to say most people, I think a decent amount of people understand, like I think maybe we have a little bit of an advantage. I don't know, being in the military real quick, you find out this isn't about like protecting the country. This isn't about being the most red, white, and blue person. Like, I'm fucking here,
Mr.
whatever.
America.
It's putting on a show. And
it's a dog and pony show. How many times do we say it?
Yeah, you put on a fucking show. When you're a fucking corporal and there's, in the junior, when it's just you and you're a corporal, it's just you and your junior Marines and they're fucking around. You don't care, right? You don't care. But all of a sudden, you're hanging out with fucking Gunny and Lieutenant around, and your Lance Corporal start fucking around. What do? Hey,
fuck around.
Stop fucking around.
Yep.
And it's because they don't understand the game yet. And you're the one there to be like, yo, you gotta fucking chill out with this shit. You can't be drawing dicks with the lieutenant around. I know you think that's cool, but that's not what we do when the lieutenant's around.
Right.
And like that, you kind of figure shit like that out. And then when you have that mentality of like, oh, perception is reality. So you put on a little bit of a show when people are around. And I think everyone does this. Like, obviously,
it's like the whole talk about, it's like the whole talking about code switching. I don't know if we've really talked about it, but I've thought about it a lot. Like people get upset. Like, a lot of people right now, what code switching is like, based on who you're around, you either talk that way or talk a specific way or something similar where you talk about specific things. And a lot of Black people get shit for code switching for their jobs. And it's like, bro, I'm trying to just make money at my job. So yeah, I'm going to talk the way that customer service is supposed to be talked in. Like, I'm just going to do it because it gets me money. I'm not like, it's funny that Abba and Preach had a whole show about this, but Abba, he's like, I changed my name just for the job. Like when I'd call people,
Yeah.
it was like this random sales job, like cold calling people. He was like, when I'd say my name was Abba, they'd instantly hang up on me. But if I was Colin or Nick, they would sit there and listen to me. I had the same voice. They can't see me. The literal difference was my name. And he's like, I'm trying to get money. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, when I'm hanging out with a crowd that's predominantly Black or Hispanic or something like that, I code switch. I get it.
Yeah.
It
I
has
think
nothing
everyone
to do
does
with-
this.
Yeah. And you should. It's not changing as long as you're staying true to yourself. Like, you don't have to be like, oh yeah, I'm ghetto. Like, I'm not saying I'm ghetto, but I'm going to say words that make sense in the context of the group that I'm in.
Yes.
Like, I'm not gonna be like, I'm hanging
we do
out,
this. We do
yeah.
this when we were civilians. If we were hanging out with just regular people that were never in the military, we had to rephrase our words because
Yes.
And then when we were hanging out with vets, we just
Because
said the
it's
first thing
easy.
that came to mind
It's-
because we
it's just-
were already drilled into us that the military talk, so we could be like, oh,
And it's easier to
reinforcements or
communicate.
whatever.
It's just
Yes.
easier to communicate.
Yes.
Then you don't have to explain shit. You don't have to explain
Exactly.
shit. And that's the
Exactly.
whole point of code switching. You don't have to sit there and
Yes.
explain shit or get your shit taken out of context.
Yeah, you got to be a chameleon in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
like a politician.
You
Like,
have to be like water and flow.
Well, this is one thing that my first lieutenant, you remember him in Okinawa,
Yeah.
and he always said this. He's like, everything is politics.
Yes.
And at first I did not really understand that. I was like, at the time I was like, I don't even know what you mean by politics. Like, I don't even fucking understand it, like what you're saying. And getting a little bit older, I'm probably about his age that he was when he was talking to me.
Right.
And now it makes sense. Like,
And
it's
politics
yes.
is such an overarching word, right? Like, it can
Yeah.
mean like a whole bunch of different shit. But I just think it's an easy way to explain interpersonal
show.
relationships.
Yeah. Put on a show. You're
Yeah.
putting on a show. Whoever
Yep.
you're in front of, you adjust to how you talk to them in a certain way, use different language. It's just the natural state of all human beings. Like, this is if you're a kid, when you talk to your friends at school, you don't talk the same way when you talk to your parents.
Absolutely.
That is
It's the same
just
thing.
not what happens.
It's
You
the
watch your
same
language
thing.
a little bit. You might rephrase things in a different way. You might not bring up that first thing that comes to your mind because it might be pretty fucked up. I don't know. But that's
Yep.
just how it is, man. That's how the world works. When you recognize that how you talk to your family, how you talk to your friends, like, this is why I think a lot of people will say, like, oh, your friends are the ones that really get you. And it's because I think a lot of people are kind of censored themselves around their parents
Yes.
because they're trying to impress their parents, so they don't want their parents to think bad of them.
You keep them off the back. Like, that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. Just keep them off your back.
But with your friends, you
You don't have to worry about that.
you don't have to worry about it. You know you're a piece of shit. You know your friend's a piece of shit. So you can
Yeah.
talk to your friend.
And they know
however
that
want.
you are.
Yeah, they know that you're a piece of shit. So you can be like, yeah, dude, I did this fucked up thing this weekend, and be like, I know, I was there. And I saw it with my eyes. I
I
actually think
saw
less
what
of
you did. I know what you did last summer.
But yeah, I just think that's one thing is when you get older, you kind of start to figure out is like you have to act different around
Yeah.
certain people. And
Yeah.
you put your own agenda with whatever it is that you're trying to fucking do.
It's fucking true. It's fucking true. Perception is reality. And you have to see, and it's not your perception that's reality. That's the biggest instance.
Yes.
That's the biggest part of that. Your perception isn't reality.
Yeah.
Perception as a whole is reality.
Your morals and what you think is right is not. I'm telling, especially if you're listening to this podcast and and how we believe. What you think is the proper way society should be and what is set and what is right, that is 95% of the rest of society. They do not think like you. They think similar to you, maybe basic things.
And there's no point in getting upset over it because they will never, never, like for the most part, they will almost never believe like you.
Yeah. That's so true.
You have to find your way around that. And that's the only way to live the most prosperous life that you can.
That's probably the best advice we can give to any young libertarian out there.
Yeah.
It's like most people, you need to realize that when you say what you think is the proper principal position, most people will think you're crazy, autistic,
or they'll just tell you fuck off.
Or they just like, you're like, that's insane. We're just going to let drug addicts just be free in society.
Yep.
Or like,
and you're like, that's
we're
not
just
what I
going to
said.
we're going to let every, you're just going to get gas. Every person just going to be armed whenever they want at all times. What do you mean the government doesn't fucking work on the roads? Who's going to fill that pothole? Like, yeah, it's just no one thinks like you. You need to understand that when you go through society, it's that gray man mentality. Like you always say,
dude. It's the fucking way to be.
You just chameleon, move your way through, work your way up, make your money, raise your family how you want them to be. That's probably the simplest way I could say it.
And be involved in your community so everybody respects you, so they kind of take on traits that you have.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the way to do it. That's the truth with some cheese on it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm gonna fucking jump off here. I gotta watch game 3 of the fucking Suns tonight. Starts in like 10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes.
Yeah. So go fucking Suns. We'll see if they can pull it out without Booker. I'm calling a Suns win by 7. I'm calling it right here.
I'm thinking a Suns win by 1.
I'm calling Suns win by 7. I think Cam Johnson shows up today. I think Crowder hits a couple points. I think Crowder actually has an impact on the scoring of this game for once because he hasn't done shit through the first 2 games. And I think you see DA score about 20 plus points. I think you see him score 20 plus tonight.
I think DA steps up too tonight.
I think
DA
and Cam Johnson. He's been really good he's always good in the playoffs. DA is always good in the playoffs. I think
he's
DA
been okay
steps
in the
up.
playoffs now, but I think he's going to step up with Devin Booker being out. I agree.
I think DA scores 20 plus, and I think Cam Johnson probably scores. I'm pretty sure Cam Johnson's starting in place of Booker. He'll probably get moved to the 3. Crowder goes to the 4, and then you have Chris Paul, Cam Johnson, DeAndre Ayton, Crowder, and Bridges. And I think you see a little bit more one-on-one Bridges with Brandon Ingram tonight than previous nights. So
good.
Yeah. So I think it'll be fucking interesting because they can't switch. They can't switch like, it's in New Orleans. They can't switch like they could with Book.
It'll be tough.
Like it was Book and Brandon Ingram and Bridges and Brandon Ingram, and then Torrey Craig and Brandon Ingram. I think we see a lot more Torrey Craig tonight. So it's going to be a fucking good ass game, and I'm excited to watch it.
I agree, bud. I've been watching the Suns and the Bulls. Bulls got a win in the fucking at Milwaukee. I was so fucking pumped about that.
Yeah, that was a good win. I called them. I called the Nets +3. So I did their spread. I bet their spread. Yeah, you can. I called the Nets +4. I think it was 4.5. And they lost by more than that. And I was like, you motherfuckers. The Nets lost to the Sixers again. They're getting wrecked by the Sixers. They might get swept by the Sixers. I don't know. It's going back to Brooklyn, so we'll see how it goes. But the not the Sixers. The Celtics are looking fucking dominant.
Yeah.
The Celtics are looking dominant. So
they're always on right before the Bulls. So when I sit down, well, the reason I watch the Bulls is they're on a little bit earlier than the Suns.
Yeah.
Because it'll be like 11 o'clock.
And it's 2 different days.
Time.
The East is on one day and the West is on another day. But another person that's just shout out. I mean, it doesn't matter. They don't listen to this fucking podcast. But Ja Morant fucking back and dominating for the Grizzlies. That is one of my favorite players in the NBA. That dude is a fucking monster. That dude's the truth. He is going to be he's going to be a first term Hall of Famer. Like, that dude is first ballot Hall of Famer by far, pending injuries. He looks fucking awesome. So with that, I'm going to fucking get out of here because the Suns are about to play. So I'll fucking talk to you later.
Thanks for listening, guys. It's been fun. Hope you enjoyed the most important trial of the century.
We out.
Setting fire to the blunt, allowable opinion.